What's up, friends? Eli here, and yes, this isn't Louie. He didn't turn white or anything with little spots. This is my buddy's dog Rocco, and he's amazing. Louie is in the room. Anyways, back for a collection update video. I feel like I say that word so much lately, it's kind of become boring. I need a cool catchphrase. Probably not going to happen though with my feeble imagination. What we're listening to in the background is a band called Nord. Don't know a whole lot about them. I don't even know what this album's called because I don't read runes. But yeah, it's black metal. It might be from Canada or France, but I don't remember for sure. Anyway, it came out on Sword Productions. Really good stuff is all I'm 100% sure of, and I do have copies of this in my distro, as well as I think one of their other albums. So if you like what you hear, I can get you a copy real cheap. Anyways, yeah, we got kind of a mixed bag here today. All mediums and formats, pretty much. We'll start off with a graphic novel that I bought. I know I don't show stuff like this a lot, but I also don't buy stuff like this a lot anymore. I don't read nearly as many comic books as I used to. But anyways, I'm also not a big Spider-Man fan, but I found this and I thought it was fucking cool. And the reason I bought it, normally I would never really buy anything, Spider-Man, but bought it for that name right there, Bernie Wrightson. One of the best horror artists ever. Just beautiful, beautiful artist. He passed away not too long ago, a couple years back, so that was very sad. But just give you a little taste of what his work typically looks like. There's a nice sample right there. Just fantastic artist. He'll be missed. I mean, he already is, I'm sure, but yeah, bummer. Now we'll get on to, I don't know. I got some VHS. Man, I'm still on that VHS kick that I've been on. I don't see it anytime soon though. It's been a blast. Yeah, I got most of these that I'm going to show you for like $1.50 total. So it's been fun. A lot of these I already have on DVD, but it doesn't matter. We got Event Horizon, one of the best horror science fiction movies ever made. Recommended if you haven't seen it. This is one of the later Halloween movies. Definitely not one of the better Halloween movies, but it's definitely better than some of the shit that would come after it. So we got Halloween H2O. It's alright, I guess. We got Army of Darkness. Different cover than the one that I have, so it's cool to have. You can never have too many copies of Army of Darkness. Got The Witches of Eastwick, Jack Nicholson and Cher and a bunch of people. Yeah. Got Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Like that one. Got The Abyss. Also, I don't remember this clamshell plastic case. I don't know if these were from a video store or did people used to buy these things. I don't remember. Growing up, I never had any. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm not sure. But I bought a bunch of VHS tapes that probably from the same old person that died, but at a thrift store. Yeah, they all have them, so it's kind of cool. We also have Sanford and Son Collector's Edition. Can't go wrong with that. Got Misery. I've never owned that one, so that's kind of cool to have. Stallone First Blood. Oh yes. Oh yeah. What I don't like about this person is on some of these tapes, they fucking cut the box cut. Probably use like a X-Acto knife or whatever, box cutter, and they cut the top of this box off, and then they ripped the fucking top of the VHS tape box too, so they could just slide it out. What the fuck, man? So you got this awesome version of First Blood that I've actually never seen before, and then they fucking cut the top off. And that's probably why you died. Then I got Platoon. Don't usually watch war movies and shit, but I know Platoon's a classic. I haven't seen it since I was younger, so grab that. I screwed up a little bit. I think first Terminator, also with the fucking top cut off. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I think I have some DVDs as well, maybe a few. I don't know. Yeah, I got a couple DVDs, actually quite a few. Got Super, probably my favorite superhero movie ever made. It's definitely not a typical superhero movie, but it's fucking great. This was written and directed by James Gunn, who did the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and one of my favorite horror movies called Slither. Guy's pretty awesome. Got Robin Hood Men in Tights. I just hadn't seen this in a long time and saw it, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta buy that. I don't normally buy other genres of movies. I normally only collect, sci-fi and, well, mostly horror. But horror, a little bit of sci-fi, maybe some fantasy, but I don't usually buy, other genres. But yeah, a lot of these I just got at a thrift store, so I couldn't say no to those prices. We got 7th season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm a massive Seinfeld fan. I've actually, believe it or not, I've never seen this show. Been meaning to watch it. I've heard it's great, so now I have some of it at least. We have First Child's Play with this cool alternate cover. It's a cardboard thing, you can peel it off. I'm not a big Child's Play fan. I've never even seen... I've seen most of the first one years ago when I was a little kid. I haven't seen any of the others, so I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I figured I'd give it a shot. Came with this fucking cool coloring book on the inside. It was actually pretty badass. Stuff like that. I'll probably color it because, I don't really have that much of a life. Why not? Got this DVD that has both of the animated Hellboy movies on it, which is cool. Got Sword of Storms and Blood and Iron. They're not bad. I've seen them. I think they used to have them on Netflix. Pretty decent. I'm just a big Hellboy fan. The animation's pretty decent if you want to see what it looks like. I get a little peek right there. It's not bad. I got both of the It movies, the original miniseries, and the remake, which I still haven't ever seen, but I figured it'll be worth a watch, right? Maybe. Wasn't familiar with this at all, but I'm kind of a sucker for those horror anthology type movies. This is a newer one, Nightmare Cinema. It's one of those horror anthologies, so it's got like a bunch of directors all doing an episode or whatever. We got Mick Garris, Joe Dante, yeah, a couple other dudes. Hopefully it's alright. Got Wrong Turn 4. Saw the first Wrong Turn. It's not good by any means, but it's entertaining. I'm kind of a sucker for those like cannibal redneck type movies. Yeah, I'll watch pretty much any of them. The original Halloween, never owned it, so that had to happen. And these 3 movies, I don't know, I might have shown these when I did that big, that massive fucking hour-and-a-half collection update that I did when I was moving. Might have shown these. I don't know. If I didn't, fine. If I did, fine. But we got Charles Kaufman's Mother's Day. It's a Troma film. I've never seen it. If you've ever seen a Troma film, you're in for some shit. Just before you even watch the movie. If you haven't seen any Troma films, then yeah, strap in. We also have Witch House. It's a Full Moon production film. Not that that means quality by any means, but I figured it was still, I think I got it for $1 or less. And a movie I've wanted to see for a long time. This is a pretty old movie. Never seen it. Always wanted to. It's got Angel Heart. Robert De Niro, Mickey Rourke, and Lisa Bonet. So yeah. Alright, that's it for the movies. Now we got some music, of course. Start off with a random cassette. that I found, Peter Gabriel Revisited. Don't know anything about this one, but I'm a massive Peter Gabriel fan, so it's an immediate purchase. I only kind of glanced. From what I can tell, it's songs from like the first two, maybe first three albums, and I think some of them might be reworked or something like that. I'm not positive, but doesn't matter. I'll find out. I got a couple vinyl records. Got Triumph, Just a Game. Been kind of getting into this band over the last couple of years. Not my favorite type of stuff. I'm not going to listen to them all the time, but it's good. It's good Canadian hard rock. If you've never heard Triumph, they're from Canada. Like I said, they're a hard rock band. Kind of Rush influenced at times, but more straightforward rock. Sort of maybe proto heavy metal a little bit in there. Good, good songwriters and musicians, and it's pretty good stuff. Then we got a couple from Alan Parsons Project. Got The Turn of a Friendly Card. Good album. It's considered by a lot of people to be their best album. And we have Pyramid. So glad to have those. And I know I have some CDs as well. Kind of blazing through this one pretty quick, which is good. I wanted to make this video, but I didn't really want to spend a lot of time on it, which is fine. Alright, I know I got a couple 2019 releases here, which I haven't bought that many this year, so that's kind of cool. We'll start with those, I guess. We have the new Imperium Decadence album. What's it called? When We Are Forgotten. Came out on Napalm Records. Black metal band from, man, I always forget where they're from. I think it might be Germany, but I don't quote me on that. Just good stuff. They've been around a good long time now. They've probably got 5-6 albums. All very good, kind of on the atmospheric side of things, but not full on. That barely says anything, but just a quality black metal band. If you like black metal and you haven't heard them, I don't think you can go wrong with any of their albums. I think they're all really fucking good. I've heard just about all of them. I only own 2, but I definitely want to get more if that says anything. I also picked up the new Devourment album, Obscene Majesty. I don't usually buy Devourment stuff, but I do like them, and I'm definitely not disappointed with this. I've only listened once, but I thought it was pretty fucking solid. I really I enjoyed the hell out of it. Relapse Records, yeah, real good stuff. If you're a Devourment fan, I think you'll probably be pretty pleased with it, I would say. I mean, I haven't heard all their shit. I've heard a couple of their albums, and I think this is as good as any of it. But what do I know? I also found this, now I have a couple Windeer albums finally. We got Windeer Lickford. This is I think this is the last album they did. Originally came out on Head Not Found. You most likely have heard Windeer if you're a black metal fan. If you like black metal and you haven't heard them, they're defunct now. The main guy died some years back. But yeah, they're a kind of a Viking type, slightly folky black metal band. Just really fucking good. Great songwriting, great musicianship, the melodies, and if you like this kind of stuff, I mean, this is as good as it gets. Putting it simply. This was an odd buy. If this weren't so cheap, I would have never bought it. But we got Pandemonium by Cavalera Conspiracy. Kind of an ugly cover, but whatever. This came out in 2014, Napalm Records. I'm a massive Sepultura fan. I've never heard Cavalera Conspiracy because I didn't want to hear it. I know that sounds kind of dickheady, but I don't know. I saw this for like $2 and I'm like, okay, fine. I'll finally check the band out. And it's not bad. The material sounds kind of very... I feel like you can tell that not a lot of time was spent, writing and recording the songs. Not that that's a terrible thing. It gives it kind of an immediate, raw feel. It's not bad. It's the most death metal sounding stuff Max has done since Sepultura. He sounds really good on here. He sounds actually almost more gruff than he ever has. Almost more death metal-y sounding. So there's some definite death metal influences here. There's hardcore influences, absolutely, and of course thrash, and it's decent. Am I going to listen to it more than once or twice? You know, probably not. But it's still it's not a pile of shit like I had originally thought that project would be. It doesn't sound like Soulfly. It doesn't even sound like later Sepultura. So I mean, they got that going. What else do I got? This was kind of an oddball for me to get, but Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. Lately, the last couple years, I've been going through kind of a phase where I grew up listening to a whole shitload of, you know, classic rock and, you know, classic rock radio and stuff like that. So, you know, I know like all the hit singles and shit, but there are a lot of bands that I haven't heard full albums from. And a lot of bands that I kind of wrote them off because I'd heard their singles and I was like, I don't need to hear a full album of that. But we all know that, I mean, usually radio singles are not the best, you know, representation of a band. So, I mean, you're kind of not, you know, doing the band any favors by doing that shit. I mean, we all know Hair of the Dog, we all know Love Hurts, and, you know, we don't need to hear those songs literally ever again. But, I mean, there are songs like Miss Misery and Please Don't Judas Me, which are awesome. So, yeah, you know, I did the same thing with Blue Oyster Cult. You know, I never really wanted to hear any of their albums, and then once I started buying them, I'm like, dude, they're fucking incredible. So I should have known better than that. But yeah, good album. I'll probably pick up another Nazareth album one of these days. I also got a lot of this shit just so random, just shit that I found. And none of this I was seeking out, you know. Kansas Power. This is their 1986 album. From what I gather, I think it's pretty much a pop album. I've heard some of these songs, and yeah, that's kind of the direction Kansas would go in the 80s. And I mean, a lot of bands did that. A lot of the more complex, you know, 70s bands, you know, progressive music, you know, wasn't so, it kind of lost its mainstream popularity in the 80s. So a lot of the more, you know, progressive bands kind of started putting out, you know, more pop-oriented stuff in the 80s, and that's just kind of how that went. Got Siouxsie and the Banshees, Hyena. I have one Siouxsie and the Banshees album that I got not that long ago, you know, within sometime this year, and I really liked it, so found this and decided I was pretty excited to get a second album from them, so stoked to hear that. Goth rock type stuff, not stuff I'm used to listening to, and I have almost none of it in my collection, so it's kind of cool to mix it up a little bit. Got a couple more. Got these in a trade for my buddy Andy. What's up, Andy? I'd been wanting to replace my old copy of this for a long time. In fact, anyway, Typo Negative, October Rust. Some years back, probably 8 or 9 years ago, I kind of purged parts of my collection. Not that many. I probably got rid of, you know, like 50 albums that I just thought I'd never listen to again. And it was some years after that where I realized, I mean, I think I got rid of all my Typo stuff, or maybe all but Bloody Kisses. And then, you know, years later, I totally regretted that, and I realized that I like all the Typo Negative albums, and so that's not going to happen again. Trying to build my collection back up. I'm still missing a couple albums, but this was one of the ones I was missing most. So I got that from him, and I also got this Solstice promo, New Dark Age. Even though it's just a promo copy, I'm real happy to have it. If you don't know Solstice, they're a kind of a traditional doom band from the UK, if I remember correctly. And yeah, just great traditional doom, epic doom, whatever you want to call it. Excellent stuff. I don't have any of their shit actually, so I need to get like all of it. So here's a start. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. I got many more videos to come. I have a lot of good ideas. I'm gonna start doing videos of my horror collection pretty soon here. I was actually just alphabetizing it the other day, and I was going through my collection. I'm like, fuck, man, I forgot about some of these movies that I have. I mean, I have a pretty decent horror collection, so it'd be really fun to do that. I wanted to start doing that like a year or two ago, but I just never got around to it. And so yeah, I'm gonna probably start that this week or next. So anyways, yeah, if you're big into horror movies, look out for that, because I really want to. I would love to talk to you guys about horror as well. If any of you are fans, I'm sure most of you probably are. So yeah, that'll be fun. We've already talked about music, which I don't ever want to stop, but it's gonna be nice to talk about horror movies as well. So anyways, thanks for watching, and cheers. We'll talk soon.